Neuroscientists are learning more about Alzheimer's disease and possible treatments through extensive research. They're examining prevention strategies and treatments to slow, stop, and reverse damage in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. One idea that hints at preventing Alzheimer's symptoms and slowing disease progression has to do with a particular medication for insomnia. A sleeping pill may reduce the toxic buildup of Alzheimer's proteins in the brain, both tau proteins and amyloid beta proteins. Use of a particular sleeping pill is explored by Dr. Brendan Lucey, Associate Professor of Neurology at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis, and he's the director of Washington University's Sleep Medicine Center.
The title of my study was Suvorexant Acutely Decreases Tau Phosphorylation and Amyloid Beta in the Human Central Nervous System. So there's been evidence in mice that a class of drugs called dual orexin receptor antagonists, which block a protein called orexin in the brain, lower the amyloid beta concentrations in the fluid around the brain of the mice, as well as the accumulation of the amyloid in the brain itself.
So Dr. Lucey took the next step, a human study.
The purpose of the study was to do a direct translation of that finding, meaning we wanted to take what had been found in mice and see if we see the same thing in humans.
The small proof of concept study had 38 volunteers.
Individuals who are cognitively unimpaired, meaning there was no problems with their memory or thinking. We were looking for individuals who were 45 to 65 years of age, and who had some evidence of sleep problems. We brought them into a research unit we have here at Washington University, and we placed a little tube, a catheter, in their lower back that was able to collect the fluid that's around the brain and the spinal cord every 2 hours. And they were given the drug over 2 nights, and we sampled this fluid for 36 hours.
Lucey found reason to hope. Compared to participants in the placebo group, those who received a single high dose of the drug showed a 10 to 15% drop of this key form of tau that contributes to tau tangles.
Phosphorylated form of tau. When you develop Alzheimer's disease, tau accumulates in neurons and leads to the death of the neuron.
Similarly, amyloid beta levels were 10 to 20% lower, and levels dropped again after a second drug dose. These differences are considered statistically significant. Past studies found links between poor sleep and Alzheimer's disease. The disease involves changes to the brain that disrupt sleep, and poor sleep accelerates harmful changes to the brain, a vicious cycle. Lucey and colleagues were among the first to show in people that poor sleep is linked to higher levels of both amyloid and tau in the brain. So the possibility of the sleeping pill improving health would be ideal.
What's really exciting to me about this area of research is that the drug that we used is already approved for insomnia, though.
Currently, using sleeping pills to stop or slow progression of the disease is not proven. More research is needed.
And it is conceivable with our study that, we see an acute effect, but as the body kind of adjusts to getting the dose of suvorexant or one of these similar drugs every day, that you kind of see a plateau or a reduction in the effect size.
To get answers, Dr. Lucey is taking the next step, studying longer-term effects with older participants.
We're looking for older adults, 60 or 65 and older, who are cognitively unimpaired and have evidence of increased amyloid in the brain. And then to treat for longer periods of time, months, and look to see, are you seeing the same effects in the fluid around the brain? But also we have a study where we're looking to see, is there a change on imaging for amyloid after someone's been on suvorexant for 2 years?
Hoping for results that may one day become part of a treatment plan for Alzheimer's patients.